Have you ever felt like life has been one long, never-ending battle, and yet somehow you're still standing? Welcome to this powerful message. You're not here by accident. You're about to discover why everything you faced was not to break you, but to build you for something greater. In this video, we're diving into truth transformation and the heavenly announcement that your victory has already been declared. This isn't just inspiration. This is revelation. Stay with me, because by the end, you won't just feel encouraged. You'll know who you are. Let's begin. The moment heaven speaks, it doesn't whisper. It declares with authority, and this time the announcement is about you. This isn't just an idea or a feeling. It's a divine confirmation. The war that drained you, the nights that nearly broke you, and the chaos you endured. It's all over now. The shift isn't coming, it has already started. You weren't overlooked, you weren't forgotten. You were simply hidden for a time such as this. What felt like silence was the build-up to a divine declaration. While you were waiting, heaven was working. Now the atmosphere has changed and the spiritual realm has spoken. Your battle is over. Victory isn't a maybe, it's not conditional. It's already been settled, and it's in your favor. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. Everything you've endured was the evidence that you were chosen to win, even when it didn't look like it. This victory is not private. It's loud, it's clear, and it's for everyone to see. Your breakthrough is not hidden behind the curtain. What was once concealed is about to be revealed. The same people who saw you struggle will witness your rise, and they'll know. Heaven had the final word, so now you walk differently. You move like someone who's heard the verdict. Not guilty, not broken, not abandoned. You move like someone whose story didn't end in the valley. This is your confirmation moment. The battle is over. You've already won. Before the storm ever arrived, your name was already known in heaven. You were chosen in quiet before life ever got loud. The battles you faced weren't because you were weak, but because you were marked. Marked for purpose, marked for greatness. Chosen ones are tested, not punished. You've walked through fire others couldn't handle, and still, here you are. Not because of luck, but because of divine preservation. You weren't surviving just to survive. You were enduring because your story carries weight. That kind of resilience doesn't happen by chance. Your setbacks weren't signs of rejection. They were confirmations of selection. The very opposition you faced was proof that you were carrying something worth fighting for. Heaven doesn't choose the easy path. It chooses the destined one. And you were chosen long before the world had a say. Even when you didn't feel it, the hand of heaven was guiding you. You thought you were lost, but you were being led. You thought it was over, but it was only beginning. That inner strength you didn't know you had. It's the mark of someone chosen to shift atmospheres. Now it's time to embrace it fully. No more questioning. No more wondering why you. The answer is simple, because you were built for it. Not just to endure, but to lead, to change, to rise. You are the chosen one. And now the world is about to see why. The hardest moments didn't come to destroy you. They came to reveal you. The battle wasn't the conclusion. It was the process. You weren't buried, you were planted. Everything that tried to silence you only trained you to speak louder with purpose and fire. You grew in the dark where no one saw. And now it's time for the light to reveal what was growing all along. You thought it was just survival, but heaven called it preparation. Every disappointment, every delay, every heartbreak was a brick laid in the foundation of your destiny. You didn't just go through things. You were being shaped, tested, refined. What felt like the end was heaven's way of constructing a beginning you could never have imagined. There were moments you wanted to quit, and yet something greater in you refused. That wasn't coincidence. That was calling. You weren't meant to collapse under the weight. You were being built to carry something heavier. A purpose, a mantle, a mission. This journey wasn't punishment, it was preparation for promotion. You see now, don't you? Looking back, the path makes more sense. What once felt like chaos was choreography. You were never off track. You were being aligned. The pain pushed you, but it didn't define you. It positioned you. That's what the process was always for. And now that you've walked through the process, you no longer apologize for your journey. You wear your story like armor. You speak with authority because you've lived it. The battle shaped you, but it never owned you. And now you step forward, not just as a survivor, but as someone born for victory. Heaven doesn't wait for public approval to celebrate a chosen one. It moves ahead of time, announcing things before the world catches up. Your victory didn't begin when others started to notice. It started the moment heaven declared it. The celebration already began, even when the room around you felt silent. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is clapping for someone else's win while you're stuck in the shadows. But heaven was never waiting on the crowd. It was moving in divine rhythm, not human timelines. Your win was already written. All that's left is for you to walk it out. The spiritual realm knows what's coming, even when you don't. That's why you feel pressure before promotion. That's why the attack increases right before the breakthrough. It's not because you're losing, it's because you're close. And while people see delay, heaven sees alignment. The world may not recognize what heaven has already released. That's okay. You weren't built for their timeline. You were built for divine timing. And when it comes, it won't be small. It will make up for every year of waiting, because heaven doesn't just restore, it multiplies. So don't let the silence fool you. Don't let the quiet convince you nothing is happening. Heaven's already clapping. The announcement has been made. You're not chasing victory and you're walking into it. The celebration isn't coming, it's already here. When heaven seems silent, it doesn't mean you're forgotten. Silence is often where the greatest strategies are formed. While you were wondering if anything was happening, the plans for your next season were being crafted with precision. You weren't being ignored. You were being positioned. The quiet was protection, not punishment. So many times you asked for signs, for voices, for confirmation. But what you didn't know was that the silence itself was a sign. It meant heaven trusted you to hold on even when nothing made sense. It meant the preparation was too deep to be loud. The most powerful things grow in hidden places. You weren't being delayed. You were being preserved. There were doors you wanted to walk through, but they would have crushed you if you entered too soon. The silence made you stronger. It made you sharper. It made you ready. And now, you're stepping into what the silence built in you. Don't misread quiet seasons. Just because you didn't hear anything doesn't mean nothing was spoken. Just because you didn't feel movement doesn't mean there was none. You were being aligned behind the scenes. You were being prepared for what your voice will now unlock. Now that the silence has broken, speak with power. Move with confidence. Everything you thought was still is now alive. What felt like a pause was actually a setup. Heaven wasn't ignoring you. It was preparing a stage you wouldn't have believed if you saw it early. Your journey wasn't hidden for no reason. It was hidden because what's about to be revealed is undeniable. You've been through seasons that others couldn't survive, and soon they'll see why. The pain you endured in secret will become the platform of your public elevation. This moment isn't random. It's been planned. Those who saw your struggle will witness your rise. They watched you walk through loss, through confusion, through fire, and still you didn't quit. What they didn't see was the promise you carried. What they didn't understand was that heaven had already approved your victory. This isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove God right. You don't need applause, but they will applaud anyway. Because when God lifts someone up, no one can deny it. And now it's your time to be seen for who you really are. You were never meant to stay in the background. That season was just preparation for this one. What you learned in silence, what you endured in shadows, all of it is now fuel for your breakthrough. You're not stepping forward by accident. You're stepping into something heaven designed. So walk boldly. Don't shrink back. The same people who counted you out will have front row seats to your breakthrough. Your story is shifting. Your voice is rising. Your light is unstoppable. This is the moment where heaven makes it clear. You were chosen, and now the world will see it too. You've been through fire, through pressure, through darkness, and yet you didn't break. That's not weakness, that's power. That's divine strength disguised as survival. Every time you thought it was over, something inside you whispered, "Keep going." That whisper wasn't from you. It was from purpose calling you forward. You've been refined, not ruined. What looked like breaking was really building. The weight you carried was training you to stand when others would fall. The attacks, the loneliness, the setbacks, they didn't defeat you. They developed you. What's rising now is someone forged by fire and made ready by heaven. There were moments you were misunderstood, even by yourself. You couldn't explain the battles, the resistance, or the constant stretching. But now you see it. It all had a reason. You were being prepared to carry what others couldn't. The heaviness was never random. It was tailored to your calling. Your strength is not just in what you overcame. It's in how you kept your heart soft in the process. You didn't let bitterness win. You didn't become cold. That's real power. That's the kind of spirit that heaven can trust with influence. You endured, and now you're equipped to lead. Now you walk with a different kind of confidence. Not loud but unshakable. Not proud but undeniable. Because you know what it took to get here. And now that you're here, nothing can move you. You weren't built to break, you were built to rise. This victory you've stepped into is bigger than relief. It's about impact. It's not just about what you're coming out of, but what you're stepping into. Heaven doesn't bless just to bless. It moves with purpose. And the purpose on your life is now activated in a new way. What you've gained isn't just for you. Your story is going to break chains in others. Your freedom is contagious. Your testimony is powerful. Everything you learned is about to become someone else's survival guide. You didn't go through all of that for nothing. It was for legacy. The blessing on your life is generational. It's meant to go beyond you. That's why it was so hard. That's why the battle was so intense, because what's on your life will shift atmospheres, break patterns, and set new standards. Heaven doesn't just think about now. It builds for the future. You're no longer living just for yourself. You carry influence. You carry answers. And now the world is going to start drawing from your well. The pain taught you. The process trained you. And now the purpose is launching you. You're a vessel of change. So move with intention. Speak with authority. Love deeply and lead boldly. Your life is proof that heaven writes better endings than hell ever imagined. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your impact. The door in front of you is open now, and it won't close again. This is not the time to hesitate. Look back or question yourself. You didn't come this far to stand at the entrance and wonder if you belong. You belong because you were called, and now you are invited to move forward with confidence. Fear will try to follow you into this new season, but it no longer has authority here. What once limited you cannot lead you anymore. This is a season of bold steps, clear decisions, and faithful movement. You are not guessing your way forward. You are walking in alignment. Everything around you is shifting to support what you are becoming. Relationships, opportunities, environments, they are all adjusting to the new version of you. You don't have to force it. You just have to walk. Grace will meet you where obedience takes you. This season responds to courage. When you move, doors move. When you speak, things align. When you decide, heaven backs it. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to step into what has been waiting for you. So step fully into it. Don't test the water. Walk on it. Don't shrink. Expand. Don't whisper. Declare. This is your time to move forward with faith in your heart and fire in your spirit. What you are stepping into was never earned. It was entrusted. The crown was not a reward for perfection, but a confirmation of readiness. You didn't receive it because you were flawless, but because you were faithful, because you stayed, because you endured, because you grew. You didn't steal this position. You didn't manipulate your way here. You were carried by grace, shaped by truth, and prepared by process. That's why you can wear what's coming without it crushing you. You were built to hold it with humility and strength. This authority on your life doesn't come from people. It comes from purpose. It's not about status, applause, or recognition. It's about stewardship. It's about responsibility. It's about carrying something bigger than yourself with integrity. You don't wear this crown to rise above others. You wear it to lift others up. That's why you were chosen. That's why you were trusted. That's why the process was so deep. Heaven gives weight only to those who can carry it with grace. So walk with honor, lead with love, serve with strength. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of who you were always meant to become. And now, you're ready to wear it. If this message reached you, it means you were meant to hear it. Not by chance, not by accident, but by alignment. You stayed until the end because something in you is waking up, remembering who you are and stepping into what you were always created for. Before you go, I want to hear from you. What part of this message spoke to your heart the most? What did you realize about yourself while listening? Take a moment and write it in the comments. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to see today. And if you made it this far, write the word victory in the comments. Not just as a word, but as a declaration. Let it be your sign, your agreement, your step of faith. It helps support this message and helps it reach more people who need it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing growth, truth, and courage. Remember, your story is still unfolding, and the best part is just beginning.